This is our full wide receiver room today. Right now, obviously, guys, we're getting to the 90-man roster, so there's going to be inflated numbers, right? So there's going to be a lot more guys on this right here than will be come, late August or whatnot. So wide receiver room. So you got Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Jalen Royals, Juju Smith-Schuster, Nico Remigio, Sky Moore, Justin Ross, Tyquan Thornton, Jason Brownlee, Elijah Badger, Jimmy Holiday, and Mac Delana to round out the entire room, JD. What stands out to you? Obviously, we're going to get into the locks and the fringe guys, but what stands out to you when you look at this roster, JD?
What stands out? Well, I say, for like any roster, you want a solid 4 guys, wide receiver, depth wise and whatnot. So you definitely got to have that on any roster. And so, we know we utilize a lot of, 3 wide receiver sets, multiple wide receivers. I think we got some good depth pieces. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, just got Jalen Royals, Juju Smith-Schuster, Nico, Sky, Justin Ross. So let me ask, is this your list? Are you just putting everybody, or this like your list you thinking one on up?
I literally just went by memory, and then I looked up to see who I was forgetting. But yeah, that's you can probably see it. The top 5 there is probably, I think, the guys who will be the locks. I think they are the top 5. I think the first 5 I thought of. But yeah, we'll get into the locks aspect. What I've noticed here, and I see Sasha, is the practice squad is going to get rated this year. There's a lot of talented guys here, top to bottom. And this is why we say it's probably the, as you're looking at this list, one thing that stands out to me, I think, is the most talented wide receiver room that we've had, top to bottom, right? Kind of evenly distributed throughout the top to bottom as far as in the Patrick Mahomes era, I would say. Then on top of that, I would say there's not a lot of big body guys, which is not surprising, but it's interesting to see when you look at it, right? So you have Justin Ross, big body guy. And I'm talking about like jump ball type guys. And then Jason Brownlee is the other guy, and we got him from the Jets, and I believe he came from Southern Mississippi. I think he actually had a few moments on Hard Knocks when the Jets were on it a couple years ago. So really, there's not a lot here with him. There's not a lot of body of work, but he's a big body guy, which is just interesting that they kind of, the type we always talk about. It seems like they really are honing into those type of guys, and they're really not even taking that many shots on the tall, big body receivers anymore, which is interesting. They're just kind of honing in on the kind of guys they like. So those are the kind of things that stand out to me.
Yeah. Well, Tyquan Thornton is another big body type of guy that we got, right? He's got good size to him, good length.
That's true. Yeah. Another 6'3". Yeah.
Who's Jimmy Holiday? I'm not really familiar with him. Where's Jimmy Holiday from?
Jimmy Holiday's the guy we talked about last week of the La Tech receiver.
Yeah. Okay.
He's about 6'1".
Yeah. Okay. Elijah Badger. That's another guy we talked about last week, right?
About 6'1" as well.
Yeah. Okay. And Mac Delana, who's that?
Interesting story about him. Mac Delana, he's a also Fresno State guy, which is also where Nico Remigio came from. Also a special teamer type of guy. So yeah, another small special team kind of gadgety kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we always said that we have a body type here, no question about it. What we're trying to do. Look, the Chiefs are trying to play fast. Okay. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to outrun everybody. We're trying to get guys the ball in space and let them just fly and do their job, do their work. And so when you sit there and say right now, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, I'm talking about the ones that actually have NFL experience, right? So the ones that have NFL experience, let's start with that. Xavier, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, Nico Remigio, and then Justin Ross. Okay. You said Jason Brownlee, but his was just Hard Knocks. He didn't make the team. He didn't make the.
I don't believe so. He was on the practice squad for a year, but I don't believe he ever actually got like any actual game time reps.
Okay. So when you're looking at it right now, NFL experience, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, really. 7 guys, NFL experience. We're looking for something from Jalen Royals to be able to show us something. Tyquan Thornton is another guy that we got here. Young dude, maybe he'll be able to show us something. So I think when you start, getting to that point, Marcus, it's all about now the competition of the guys that's going to be here that you think is, kind of planted in where we are, and then the guys that's trying to make the team or the squad, okay, the practice squad. And we're going to need bodies. The thing is, when you have this group of guys, like the 13 of them, you're trying to find a diamond in the rough. You're trying to get something out of a guy like we did Nico Remigio the last couple of years when he was here, or, he was kind of showing himself that, he showed his value. That's what he was doing. Same thing kind of with Justin Ross. Justin Ross is another guy we've been talking about since he's been here for the past, is this his third year? I think it's going on his third year, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So first year he didn't play. Second year he had the incident. And then third year, this is his fourth year, I think, man.
Fourth year. Wow. So 4 years.
Time flies.
Time does fly. So, but we know he knows the playbook. We know he's been able to go up there and catch the football. And so when you sit there and you look at this number of guys, it's really battling out who's going to be kind of like that seventh guy. I think the Chiefs are going to probably carry 7 receivers. That's the way it's going to look. That's what you usually, try to pick up, especially if one of these guys is going to be a special teamer, too. So that's the thing about it, right? Jalen Royals, he returned some kicks. Did he? He has a returner. Didn't he have some like in his history as a returner? Or maybe I'm wrong on that.
Let me look here. Return. Yeah, he returned 9 kickoffs in his career in college.
Okay. Yeah.
So not a lot of body of work.
Not a lot. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So if we're pulling out the 7, at least right now, okay, I say it's the guys that have NFL experience. Everybody else is trying to, cut on the roster, right? So,
yeah. So Brownlee, to 2023, he did make the team. He was a late pull up to the active roster. So he did make the team. Appeared in like 7 games, had 5 catches overall in that, and did not play at all last year. So, so there is some things. I mean, yeah, some experience, but again, a lot of these guys are very, very green outside of the top guys you mentioned.
Yeah. So, Delena, is it Delena? On the screen would be nice, Demondre Green Beans. So I don't know too much about him, Demondre Green Beans. Who the guy is. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's another type of Nico type of body type, little fast twitch. Yeah, he's a smaller guy. I mean, obviously Fresno State has their own type of type, right? And it's the same kind of guy there. Also a returner as well, so he can do a little bit of everything there. So, I mean, I will say this: that the one that's also another thing that you can stand out here is return men. Talk about the kickoff space. You have Nico, and you have Delena. You have Jimmy Holiday. And that's pretty much it from that, I would say, right? Brashard will be a running back thing, but as far as returners, not a lot of guys who do the returning here. As far as have that in their bag, right? We said Royals had 9 kickoff returns, but that wasn't his thing. Whereas that was Nico's thing, and that was Delena's thing. So that's interesting. Yeah. There's not a lot of that in this room. What does that say to you that the fact there's not that many the returner types in the receiver room?
I mean, shoot.
Because usually there's a lot more. Usually a lot of these guys have that in their tool bag. There's not many really.
Yeah, but I think we got with Brashard Smith. He's the one we talking about, the major who was on our show, right? True. Williams, a guy. So I don't. But yeah, you would look for more kind of guys in this room to have a fast twitch, kind of fast moving around. But I guess we got a couple of them though. We put Sky back there too. Sky went back there.
That's true. He's done it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the point that was going to put Xavier, we know Xavier could return the punts, but I don't think they're going to try to use him as a return guy.
Yeah, I think that got scrapped big time right after Rasheed got hurt. They're like, you know what? We're going to be using you a lot more.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, and also too, so outside of so I mean, Nana's asked me a question. Has Nico graduated from punt return to wide receiver? No, he's going to be. If he makes the team, he's going to be playing receiver and return man. He's not. I mean, he'll be doing both if he makes the team. right, JD? That's going to be his.
He's definitely gonna play both. So
that's his.
I just say, man, with the type of offense that we run, I think who Mike Brennan said, hopefully don't do 6. He said we don't use sometimes more than 4. I guess it depends on the game. It's going to depend on your opponent. If you might dress 6. You're definitely going to carry 7. I don't think there's no way you're going to get past that. There's no way you're just going to run with 6. You got to go with 7 because injuries. I mean, these guys hamstrings. So we could go through. Shoot, let's look on here and look as far as the guys we were talking about the 7, like the injuries, right? Sky's been hurt. Juju's been hurt. Hollywood's been hurt. Rasheed's been hurt.
Worthy. Remember there was questions about him playing during rookie minicamp. Remember he had that weird hamstring injury.
Right. So somebody's got to be writing in the wind to get jump on when you need to.
I mean, quite frankly, all these guys. You can point out to an injury. I mean, last year, and I think that makes the case for what you're saying as far as keeping 7. I think going through the disaster of injury problems went through last year, I think that is kind of a reason. Like, you know what? Let's pack this room up. And let's take the best 6 or 7 guys. You got to. I think based on what they went through last year, I think you got to keep 6 or 7 guys. You can't be trying to make in-season trades every year to try to right the ship of the wide receiver room. If guys get hurt, you need to have a replenished resources there.
And especially talking about how difficult this offense is as well, right? And it's typical for wide receivers, kind of be hurt, hamstrings. You might do a little strain here and there, but guys got to be ready and prepared because guys do go down. Like you said, it's true. So, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see, man. So, what do you think? What do you look at right now, as the depth chart for here?
The depth chart. You're talking about the guys who I think are going to make the team.
Yeah, I say that now, but what do you rate them at this moment? Okay.
So here are the locks that I think. This is basically what we talked about last week. And this is not wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4. This is who I think is definitely going to make the squad. And I only have 5 as of right now, looking at the room right now as 5 locks. I agree with you. 7 will be kept. I just don't know who the next 2 are. But these are the 5, and I would say all healthy. Rice is the 1, Worthy the 2, Hollywood Brown 3, Royals. Juju 4 to start the season off with, and Royals at 5 to start the season off with. That's what I would say that the 5 would be.
Okay.
Thoughts on that?
I think that's a good 5. And I would say probably that's a good 5. It's a good 5 right there. So I'm sure they develop Royals, pretty fast. So.
And that's, and not even fact. This is not even factoring in Rashee Rice if he can make it, if he can come back to start the season. The suspension. This is not factoring injury. This is factoring he's healthy from injury, like everyone's saying he is. All the reports are, and the fact that there's no suspension. Let's say no suspension. This is who I think will be the 5 guys out there week 1, definitely. Now the other 2, that's where we kind of get the conversation. But looking at the locks here, I think you have a mix of some of the guys who are green, right? The Jalen Royals is obviously a rookie. Xavier Worthy's 2nd year. Hollywood Brown and Juju bring that experience. Guys who have been around the block for a little bit. But Hollywood's 2nd year on this team, first full year. So that's one thing too. And then Rashee Rice, he's a guy who's kind of, and again, you can also make the argument that he's still pretty green too, right? 2nd year, he only played 3 games in his 2nd year, or four games, however many it was before he got hurt. He's coming back for his 2nd full season. So really, like, Juju and Hollywood are the elder statesmen of this room, and really Juju's the only elder statesman in the room, and which is why last week after we had that conversation where you were like, no, Juju's definitely a lock on this team. And I'm like, okay. And I thought about it as I was looking at this list, I'm like, yeah, you need to have Juju, because otherwise you have a bunch of guys who have not played 2 full years in this system. Right. And that's scary.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. Shoot, that's, and then just having that type of leadership, the veteran presence, man, it changes things. It really does. Like I said, last week, Because if you have, the wrong veteran in there, or maybe a guy that doesn't have that type of experience, shoot, things do get a little ornery, a little wrong, But yeah, I just, for me, it would be hard to cut a Juju Smith-Schuster, especially with this roster. These guys. I'm not saying that these guys are not talented, but Juju Smith-Schuster brings something else to the table that these other guys just don't have, right? And part of it is the grit, the experience, and all those different things. He knows how to get things done. He knows how to get open. Not only to mention that, but also too, Marcus, I said Juju Smith-Schuster is a blocker. Does a hell of a job of that. You know who does a hell of a job of that? Sky Moore. Sky Moore does a good job of that as well. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 would probably be Sky Moore. Sky's in at number 6.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Now, this is based on, as of right now, as before we're seeing everybody else. This is like, and let me ask you this: a guy who's been around longer, he's going to get the leg up, regardless of how he's finished the season. He's been injured the last 2 years to end the season. Guy like that gets the leg up on the younger guys, right? Like he's getting first to get the reps, and then it becomes where the coach will then put the depth charts out. Then then that's when you kind of see the revolving door and the kind of the different cycling of groups and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, look, Scott Moore's been here, and even though people don't see his production as what it should be, what they expect it to be, right? That's why they all are on him. I think we still need to remind people, this guy in 2022, he, had 33 receptions, and the year after that he had 38. Last year he had 3 before he got hurt, so he has production here. So if we start looking on this roster as far as like who's people on here, Sky Moore's got more than Nico Remigio and Justin Ross put together. That's the reality. So we can't dismiss what he's done with the Chiefs. So he's contributed to helping the guys win the Super Bowl. Yeah, people might not like him because he's a second-round pick, and he's a second-round pick for a reason. And you know what? The coaches, they trust him. If they didn't trust him, he wouldn't be here. He just wouldn't. That's the way I look at it. And so for them, they know if a guy is having a difficulty, they want to say, okay, look, we're going to give him a chance and opportunity. But as far as he can run routes. We know he can catch the football. We've seen that. He's got a bigger kind of body to him. He's an athletic guy. So I think for us, and at least for me, I know I'm always waiting for him to have a breakout season. That's what I'm looking for a guy like that. I mean, he's a high draft pick for a reason, man. He's a second-round pick for a reason. And so these other guys, when we sit there, we start talking about it. Nico, I think he had like 2 catches, maybe, last year. He had a couple of returns, and it was great for him. Justin Ross, he might, how many catches Justin Ross had here?
In general, maybe like 4 or 5 from the year before. He didn't get much playing time last year.
Okay, so that's my point. My point is, it's not the production everybody wants him to be, right? And it's sure not production he wants to be either, and I'm sure the Chiefs either. But he wants to be able to get more. But we have seen him produce. He's caught balls here, right? So we kept what's the name around Watson for a while, quite some time. It ain't like he was, catching 70, 80 balls a year. Okay,
yeah.
But he was a solid player. He was a solid player. So
you're putting Sky Moore in your lock, or that's so. Just
no, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why it's wow. I just gave you all the reasons why.
No, I get it. No, I guess I'm surprised a little bit. I guess we'll look into the fringe guys. I would say because I just put I have these guys as the 100% 5 locks. Because I guess let me change that up a little bit. The wow, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if he does make the roster, but I would say he's probably of I wouldn't put him at a lock right now. I wouldn't put my money on him saying he's a lock right now. These are guys I gotta put my money behind. Is what I would say.
I got you. Okay.
So yeah, let's go to the fringe guys then. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.